years ago this week, back in 1990, one of the top hits in the USA was by a woman who cries real tears in the video for this song. Tears inspired by a breakup just 2 days before. One of the most memorable things about Sinead O'Connor's video for Nothing Compares to You is a tight close-up of her face with tears streaming down her cheeks. They're not artificial tears dropped in her eyes by a makeup artist. Those tears are totally real. You see, just 2 days before the video was shot, for no apparent reason, she told her longtime manager, who was also a former boyfriend, that their relationship was over. He was shocked. He says he didn't know there were any problems between them. But Sinead told him it was finished. And she says the pain of that breakup led to real tears in the video. Tears that came from genuine pain. 8 years ago this week, this singer had one of the top hits in the USA. Coming up, an American Top 20 Extra by Sinead O'Connor, a singer who got her big break singing at a place she describes as filled with terror, panic, and agony.
Counting down the hits with Kasem. Counting down the hits with Kasem.
Well, now we're up to an American Top 20 Extra by Sinead O'Connor, a singer who got her big break singing in a place she describes as filled with terror, panic, and agony. Sinead was born in Dublin, Ireland. She says her parents' marriage was a troubled one. So troubled that rather than stay home, she hung out in the streets. And it was on the streets that she got into trouble for shoplifting. By the time she was 13, she was in trouble so often, she was sent to a Dublin reform school. It was a harsh, strict place where there was zero tolerance for those who stepped out of line. It was a place Sinead remembers as filling her with terror, panic, and agony. Yet it was in the midst of her life at this reform school that Sinead found her greatest hope. You see, when she was permitted to, she'd sing in the school's choir. Her voice stood out from the others around her, a voice that was clear as a bell. When Sinead was just 14, one of the teachers, impressed by her voice, invited Sinead to sing at her wedding. At the wedding, Sinead met the teacher's brother, a professional musician. He was equally impressed by her singing, and he invited Sinead to work on a song with him, a song called Take My Hand. That song eventually became a hit in Ireland, and that was the first step that took Sinead O'Connor from troubled teenager to highly acclaimed singer. Now, as an American Top 20 Extra, here's Sinead with a huge hit from 1990.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
Well, now we're up to an American Top 20 Extra by Red Hot Chili Peppers, a band whose lead singer recently published his autobiography, a book that one critic called, quote, the most honest portrait of addiction I've ever read. Anthony Kiedis has been in band since 1978, and after 25 years making music and living the life of a rock star, he decided it was time to put it down in writing. With the help of writer Larry Sloman, he assembled a memoir called Scar Tissue. Anthony writes about life with his drug dealer father. He writes about dating Sinead O'Connor and being dumped by her. But most of all, he writes about the many years he spent battling drug addiction.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
The clock is ticking as we head for the top. Well, now we're up to an American Top 20 Extra by Sinead O'Connor, a star whose new album is a return to the Christian roots she's long abandoned. For those who have followed Sinead's career, that may come as a surprise. After all, this is the singer who once tore up a photo of the Pope on Saturday Night Live and who was excommunicated for announcing that she was a priest. But that was then, and this is now. Sinead says, quote, by blood and by birth, I am a Catholic. I want to acknowledge music as a way of talking to God. The result is a new double CD titled Theology, and most of the songs on it borrowed their lyrics from the Old Testament, including a song that Sinead says is, quote, a prayer to God for assistance, and a prayer saying thanks.
American Top 20. Top 20.
Well, now we're up to an American Top 20 Extra by Sinead O'Connor, a star who recently appeared on Oprah, where she described herself as, quote, a bucket with holes in it. Sinead told Oprah that for much of her life she struggled with overwhelming fear and thoughts of suicide. She told Oprah she used to cry all the time. Quote, I was just leaking tears from every pore. 4 years ago, after a suicide attempt, Sinead finally sought help. she was diagnosed as bipolar. Since then, she's been getting constant care and treatment, and she's doing a lot better. Quote, "I'm a work in progress. Anything is an improvement when you've been in desolation. To be out of that place is brilliant." As an extra, here's Sinead with a song that takes on a whole new meaning after her interview. She shed real tears in the video for this song as she sang the words, "Nothing can stop these lonely tears from falling. Tell me, baby, where did I go wrong?" From 1990, Sinead O'Connor with an AT20 Extra, Nothing Compares to You. I'm Kasem. Now on with the survey.
Casey's Coast to Coast.